All right, y'all. So I wanted to show y'all this. I hardly ever show. I haven't talked about my worm bin in a long time. So what you looking at down in here? This is finished. I'm gonna show you how it be looking at first. So my worm bin is primarily where I put a lot of food scraps. I do put food scraps in the garden, but primarily I put them in the worm bin. And you see a bunch of stuff here: cardboard, toilet paper rolls. I put it out. This is one of those biodegradable cardboard. We got some food trucks down the street that's real environmentally thoughtful. So all of their stuff is biodegradable and it doesn't hurt the environment. The packaging, the forks, everything can be composted. Under here is some food scraps. Also, I had some stuff from the compost that had not composted down all the way, but y'all can kind of see over there food scraps. Y'all can see orange peeling, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's gonna rain, so that stuff's gonna get moisturized. Trust me, I'll assure you up under there it is moisturized. So after a while, look at all this clover. And these are wild garlic chives. Well, I keep saying wild. I think they're actually garlic chives. So many times I say garlic chives, they're not. They're onion chives. Let me just show you how this. Garlic chives should have a flat leaf like garlic. And when you break it off and smell it, it smells just like garlic. So see how that leaf is flat? If that leaf is a cylinder like an onion, those are onion chives all day long. I don't care what the seed pack said. I don't care what they sold you. And it took me a while to finally get garlic chives. So now that I got a plant that's actually garlic chive, because I'm going to be honest, those I really like. You can use garlic tops, but this stays so tender, y'all. You can just chop it up, and you can chop it up in something that you're not going to cook very long. You can use your garlic tops, but your garlic tops are so tough. You want to put them in something like a soup or something, because they're going to have to cook for a while, unless you're going to tie them up in a bundle, let them cook, let the flavor come out, and then pull that bundle out later because they're a little bit more fibrous. Okay? Now, that being said, back to the worm composting. So you see a bunch of paper on top of this. What I do when I'm ready to finish a bin, or let the worms finish the bin rather, I put about 4 or 5 inches of either paper, cardboard, or whatever on top. Because those worms, like for instance, if I come over here, those worms aren't going to eat all that on top because there's light up here. And it's also dry. They're not coming up there. But if you put so many inches of paper, what was this? Honey, and they didn't even bit more eat that all up. But that paper subsided. But anyway, but you see, look how pretty the finished compost is. And I will probably move that paper for the most part. But you will notice that you don't see, it doesn't matter how far down I dig. And this was all food scraps. But look at how pretty. And y'all know that's going to be full of nutrition and biodiversity down in there. And this is newspaper and stuff like that. Ain't none of this paper going to hurt your garden, even if you was to just put it in your garden. But you can see, and also putting this paper on top helps it stay moist, because see how it'll clump, but then look how it'll, let me do that again. My hand wasn't in the right. See how it'll clump, and then it'll just fall right back apart. So that's your worm bins for you. I think this one down here, I'm about ready to let the worms finish. Oh, I've already put the stuff on top. So let's see, since it's been so warm. Yeah, this actually kind of feels warm. And see, this cardboard was dry when I put it in there. You see it's mostly wet now. Yeah, see this paper? The closer I get to the food scraps and stuff, the wetter the paper gets. And see, then you start seeing the food scrap. So the worms will leave about the top 2 inches. They'll eat all the other paper too. But baby, when you get down to it, this finished stuff, it smells so good. It smells just like, like just fresh earth. It smells so good. There's a name for that. I learned the name yesterday. It's called I forget what it's called, but it has geo in the name because geo means ground or rocks or whatever. But I'm gonna put the top on this because I don't want this to get rained in, and we about to get some rain. Put this. Oh, okay, it's on. Sometimes be on, you don't know it's on. But yeah, once it gets finished, I don't want it to get rain because it'll get too soggy. It's the perfect consistency right now. This one here, I do want to get rained in because all of this cardboard and stuff is gonna absorb moisture, and I want all of that stuff wet so that it'll encourage the earthworms and stuff. But I got some more food scraps in the house I need to put on there. So I just wanted to show y'all that about the worm bins. When my worm bins get through like that, I am going to transfer those worm castings out of that middle bin. I have an empty bin in the greenhouse, and that's where I store them. That way I can start that bin over. So that's why I have more than one bin. I have them in rotation. You do not need these fancy. I have 1, 2, 3. They're all trash cans. I think I bought the lids on Amazon for a little bit of nothing. The trash cans I got from somewhere, but these were the trash cans that the bottoms either had holes in them or cracked, and I couldn't use them for rainwater. Well, it's perfect for your worms because you want a hole in those cans. You don't want your worms to drown, because even if you just put food scraps in there, while they're eating the food scraps, as those food scraps break down, they make liquid, and you don't want all that extra liquid up in there. And let me show you this here, because like I said, I hadn't talked about this in a while, so I'm gonna go back and talk about it. I got a lot of new subscribers, and I thank y'all for subscribing, everybody that has subscribed. So let me show y'all up on here. What you see at the bottom of my stuff, you see that pan? That's a pan for a hot water heater. You can get that at any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. And then I have something to catch it. It don't matter what you use to catch the water. The pan come with the pan and this here. Now what happens is, now it is leaves in here, but that don't matter. But what happens when it rains, the liquid will drain out of there, the pan will catch it, and the pan will divert those drippings down into here. Now I had a bowl over there, but it broke all up on me. I need to get another catchment. But since I'm not letting water fall in there, I don't have to worry about it. This was the same way. I got something to catch my leachate from my worm bin. So have you something to catch that stuff, because that's really good nutrition. And let me say this, you don't have to do that step. You can just put holes and see how I got it off the ground. You don't even have to have it off the ground, but I keep it off the ground. It helps with ants. I don't have ants in my stuff so much. But and also if you have roots and things, you have to be careful because sometimes roots can grow up in there. But if you keep it up off the ground, it won't do that. So you don't need all this extra stuff. You can just poke holes in your leachate to go on the ground. But watch this. Kind of be thinking sometime when you're planning out your stuff, because let me stand back. I didn't always have these worm bins right here. I used to have them somewhere else. And I also didn't have the pans. I just got the bins first. Then I got something to put them on. You know what I'm saying? You just get a little at a time, little at a time. So I used to just let that stuff just run out on the ground. But what's around it? My fruit trees, it ain't going to waste. That stuff will feed my fruit trees. So even if I don't have something to catch this, when that leachate come out, it's in the vicinity of these fruit trees. So that nutrition is not going to waste. It's going down into the soil to feed your fruit tree. And I may come back and get, I may do two of them over there, maybe, because I got another one of my rain barrels. It got a crack in it, and it hold water sometime, and then when you twist it a certain way, it won't hold no water. So I think I'm gonna maybe put one over there in the middle of the fig trees, and I'll have a fourth worm bin. And when that leachate come out of there, it'll feed those over there. So I just kind of keep these in rotation. I'll empty this one. It'll be down at the bottom. And you always have a few worms in there. You don't never get, I don't get every last bit of the worm castings out, because the worm castings will have worm cocoon, and it will also have a few little earthworms. You don't need but a few. They mate and have babies, and the babies hatch out and all that kind of stuff. So You don't need but a few little worms in there. And I'm going to be honest. If you don't have any worms, you do not have to buy worms. That's another thing. So many people, they think it's going to be so cost intensive to get into worms. You don't have to buy worms. At this point, native worms, a lot of times I see red wigglers in my soil. So I don't know if those things have, they're probably native to a lot of places. But you have some native earthworms somewhere. And don't be surprised. Just start putting your food scraps over in there. Put leaves and shred your mail, or you can just put the paper in that hole. They'll eat it up. You ain't got to shred it. And before long, and moisten it. You don't want it soaking wet. You just want it, damp. Before long, believe it or not, you'll have worms in there. How they get in there? Hell if I know. They find their way in. I don't know if they go through the holes, they climb up the side, but they get in there. It's just like your compost pile. Nature know what to do. These creatures and things, they know what to do. So y'all, if you don't have no worm bin, or you don't know how to do it, you feel intimidated, or you feel you got to buy all this stuff, you ain't got to buy all this stuff. And I'm gonna tell you right now, these worm bins don't, now that I have them, they don't cost me anything. For instance, if you started with one, let's say you got that one trash can there and a top, I think that's $40, $30-$40. Or if you could maybe find somebody throwing out a garbage can, or maybe you got a container. You don't even have to use no trash can. You can use, now this is all broke up, but that's one of them laundry thing. You could use that. Use what you have. You could use a 5-gallon bucket. You can use, you know what I'm saying? Don't make it be rocket science. You could use a tote. If you got a tote, let me tell you something. Somebody throwed away a tote side of the road, got a crack in it. When I tell you I got that so fast, because it's either going to be a planter or another worm bin. It's going to be one or two. You see what I'm saying? So, what you got, it ain't got to be big. It ain't got to be fancy. Just do what you can do, because I'm telling you right now, worm castings are invaluable to your garden. If you compost in place already, you're bringing the worms into the soil. And that's all well and fine. But I'm going to tell you what I use this for a lot of times. I do amend my beds with these worm castings, but sometimes I mix these worm castings in with my seed starting mix. And then I can start my seeds in something that has real good soil, biodiversity, and a little bit of nutrition in it. And it just never seems to hurt. But you can use those worm castings anywhere. So I think I done talked y'all enough. My neighbor over there hollering. I don't know who she hollering at. But until next time, see you guys later.